start with Mr. Dr. Rama's moderation and introduction of the speakers. Maybe I would come at the end to propose the formal vote of thanks. But just one administrative request to all of you: kindly mute your audio and video when the program is on. Other than the speaker, I request everyone to be on mute particularly. Thank you so much. Dr. Rama, the floor is yours now. Not able to hear you. You are muted. I didn't want you to mute.
Thank you. Once again, good evening to all of you. Welcome to this last day program of Phygital. This is the 5th day. We had in the earlier days sessions on data analytics, artificial intelligence, blockchain, cybersecurity, and today we come to the most talked about subject, social media. And for this subject, we have a person whom I would not hesitate to call a celebrity in the space of social media, Mr. David Appasamy. He heads the brand and strategy at Social Beat, an award-winning and fast-growing digital marketing company in the country, recognized for his thought leadership. He was awarded as one of the 50 leading marketing strategists in the world by the World Marketing Congress 2018. He is director of the century-old Kodaikanal International School in Kodaikanal, Tamil Nadu. He has experience of over 35 years in senior positions covering general management, business strategy, marketing management, advertising, sales, digital marketing, both in corporate and social sectors. To name a few of his global expertise and contributions, which are pretty large, but I'll tell you only a couple of them. The member of the Business Action in Support of Information Society, BASICS, of the International Chamber of Commerce, ICC, is co-chair of ICC's Task Force on Internet and Telecoms Infrastructure and Services, of the Commission on Digital Economy from 2006 till 2011. To name a few of his contributions to society, he is managing trustee of the Appasamy Trust, chairman of Roofs for Roofless, an NGO started by Dr. Chandran Devanesan, the first principal of Madras Christian, the first Indian principal of Madras Christian College, and chairman of the governing council for 7 years of Asha Niketan, a home for mentally handicapped, part of Liarche, a global organization with such homes worldwide. I must share here, Mr. David Appasamy, that Dr. Chandran Devanesan was my principal too in the Madras Christian College. Mr. Appasamy is a qualified in hotel management and business management from IIM Ahmedabad. He is an avid photographer, traveler, reader, blogger, and social media enthusiast. One question I have already reserved for him is to ask him, how does he manage to do all these things in 24 hours? I'll ask at the end of the day. Mr. Appasamy will address us now on social media business perspectives and use cases in his next 25-minute address. Mr. Appasamy, over to you.
Thank you, Dr. Rama. So thank you for that very kind introduction and for the words spoken. Let me dive straight into the presentation since we have little time to spare. It's taking some time to connect. Please bear with me. It's the first time I'm using WebEx, so I'm facing a few challenges.
Want any help? I can ask my person also to probably show if you have a problem.
Yeah.
If you had sent it to her already.
Unfortunately, I've not.
You can send it even now if you want to the same mail ID. if it doesn't work for you now.
Sir, sorry to disturb. There is a share option. You could able to see that, sir?
Yeah, I'm trying to share.
Okay.
And it gives me options between application and screen.
Screen. So you just open the presentation in the desktop first, then opt for the sharing. Directly it will get connected to the presentation, sir. Otherwise, like you can share.
I've already got
Otherwise,
it. I've already got the application open.
okay.
So it's
Otherwise, you
mentioning
can.
application,
Right?
right?
No,
I
we
choose
couldn't view
application
your
window.
screen.
I've
Maybe
chosen.
can you mail us, sir? We will do it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Sorry for that, folks. Familiarity is of. You can imagine how important it is. What is the mail ID I should send it to?
mcca@madraschamber.in, sir.
mcci@madraschamber.in.
.in, yeah.
Okay.
Sverna, confirm to him once you receive.
I will do it, ma'am.
I think the WebEx is very heavy as an application. Everything is slowed down.
You are able to send the mail?
No, it is not going as yet.
Dr. Rama, do you think probably then in the meantime, Mr. Vinod can make a presentation so that by the time we will try to sort this out?
Yeah, I think it'll be
Yeah.
simpler.
Yes. Mr. Vinod, would you be able to start the presentation now? Can I introduce you?
Yes, I can.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, we will get Mr. Vinod, Mr. Dansing Vinod to talk to us now. Mr. Vinod manages the MSME SME business in Tamil Nadu for AWS. He has an overall experience of 12 years in Tamil Nadu IT industry, supporting customers across all disciplines. Mr. Vinod has diverse experience in helping customers address data center and business challenges through innovative IT solutions. Prior to AWS, he has worked for large corporates like IBM and VMware. He and his team have helped multiple customers in adopting digital transformation for business success, including enabling customers to adopt work from home technologies during the challenging times of COVID. Mr. Vinod, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Dr. Rama, for the opportunity. Thank you, Ashok and team, for giving this opportunity. Firstly, I think this was possible only due to Ashok. Apart from helping customers along with us, I think Ashok has also helped with this opportunity also in addressing such a great audience in these challenging tough times. So I'll share my screen.
Yes,
So
please.
since the time is limited, I will make it quick. Is my screen visible?
Yes.
All right. Okay. So today I'm going to talk about the cloud economics, the business case for cloud, and rather than any other point or time, what we have seen in these years, the current situation, the current business challenges, current prevailing situation due to COVID has even more given many organizations the compelling view to look at cloud, right? So why people look at cloud apart from accessing it from anywhere, anytime. What are the other or important parameters or possibilities what customers achieve by using cloud? Broadly, customers see a business value of cloud on four different parameters, which is the total cost of ownership, staff productivity, operational resilience, and business agility. Right. So I will quickly cover each and everything. Right. So what is a TCO, total cost of ownership? Most of you, majority of you are running IT systems for your business, and you would know when we talk about total cost of ownership, it's not just buying an hardware or server or your data center component. It's about managing it for a period of 5 years, right? So careful study across various organizations with various parameters have suggested that when you look at the total cost of ownership over a period of 5 years or 6 years, you will definitely realize the cost savings on the cloud platform, right? And I'm sure me and Ashok have done multiple these kind of TCOs for multiple of our customers, traditional enterprise houses transforming into the cloud, right? So we're happy to do such a study for you without any cost, right? Now, infrastructure cost in general depend upon this graph, right? So this graph is basically the predicted demand for a company, right? And how your IT systems are purchased in line with that, right? So there's a large capital expenditure which is involved in buying of every hardware or an capital investment, which comes with the cost of capital, right? And during and change of demand or change of new business priorities, if you want additional IT systems to be in place, that's another capex which is getting involved, right? But by the time the systems are ready for you to use, there's always a lost opportunity cost, and there's also an opportunity cost, right? So considering all these things, we can in fact do a very detailed discussion about it. Overall, that is the reason why customers are moving towards the cloud platform, right? And in India, we serve close to like 3 lakh customers across all industries, all geographies in India, right? We have customers ranging from Tuticorin in South Tamil Nadu to all the way from Chennai, right? So that's been the adoption of cloud by our customers, right? Staff productivity, what is it, right? So people might think that when we move to the cloud, lot of our redundant IT processes are avoided, and the cloud seldom the rate of failure in cloud is very less, so we can cut down on staff, right? So that was the conceived view on staff productivity, let's say 2 3 years back, right? But what does it transformed is, it has not actually cost the jobs of any employee, right? Rather, it has made them more productive, right? With the same team, with the same existing team who knows your processes well, who knows your business well, right? They can be used for new technologies what lot of customers are today adopting. For example, data analytics, right? Today, if you want to do a data analytics project, you have to hire somebody from outside, you have to have a data scientist, you have to have technology, all those things, right? So it itself is a project together, right? But whereas after the cloud invention of cloud, after people move to the cloud platform, you can do all these things in a fraction of a cost and with the same stuff, right? So you can use the same stuff in a more productive manner. From day one they became productive, right? So adopting new technologies like data analytics, IoT, right? IoT has been widely adopted by most of our manufacturing customers. First, the step is they move their ERP systems onto the cloud and they digitize it. Then they move on the other systems like IoT. They do a digital manufacturing, digital factory operations adoption across all the disciplines of the organization, right? So that has significantly gone up after the cloud adoption. And once what used to cost millions of dollars for customers to even test very innovative different solutions like machine learning, like analytics, like IoT, today is possible within hundreds of dollars on the cloud platform, right? So that's how it is on staff productivity. Let me so this is an typical task what is today usually done, right? Budgeting, planning, purchasing process, installation, all those things, right? Those all these things are saved, which increases the staff productivity, right? Operational resilience is basically the number of downtimes the hardware fails, right? So we give an SLA of 99.99% of SLA for compute and 99.11 of SLA for storage. So which means technically you cannot lose data, right? Again, all these things are available, and it is up to the customer and customer partnering with our solution providers like FutureNet, where Ashok and team has helped multiple customers to deploy all these solutions, right? So that's also very important. So since your resilience is increased, your availability of applications, your availability of systems are increased, your business is directly proportionally it is also impacted, right? So more uptime, more productivity, and more revenue for you, right? And the final thing is on business agility. Let us say a new project comes and you want to deliver it on time. For that, you need IT systems. Instead of evaluating and finalizing bill of material, releasing purchase order, all those things, right? You can have it on a click of a button. Let's say within 15 minutes, half an hour, you can have the systems ready, right? So your agility of the business to adapt to any form that the business demands is one of the greatest advantages of the cloud platform, right? So this is on business agility. So instead of doing requirement analysis, design, build, integration, deploy, and maintain, right? So we have seen considerable amount of time saved on all these activities, which increase business agility, right? Yeah. So very importantly, the time to market for new applications has come drastically down when you use a cloud platform. For example, if a new application or a new initiative, what you have planned earlier, usually takes 1 year of time. Potentially, you can reduce that to 6 months or 4 months by using the cloud platform. Yeah. So this is on the cloud economics, what I wanted to cover, and I would also like to quickly go through on why AWS, right? The AWS difference. So we have the most experienced cloud service provider. Though Amazon as a company came into existence only a few years back, there were many other tech giants in the market, right? But they never really experimented or supported the cloud platform, right? Amazon as a company, 13 plus years, we are the most experienced serving our customers, helping millions of customers. One of the main reason for AWS to be a successful cloud platform is because Amazon as a business has leveraged the platform for its own success, right? So a person knowing or a person who's realized that benefit which is got out of the cloud platform is the best person for you to be an advisor for cloud, right? So that is the reason why AWS has been very successful. The most experienced cloud service provider, 13 plus years. We have 76 plus geographical locations across the globe delivering our services. We have highly more secure and also compliant cloud service provider with 270 plus security features and 65 plus certifications. We have overall 175 plus offerings, which is technically uh, 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 almost double or triple the size of any nearest cloud provider on the service offerings, right? So that is a very interesting point. What I would request of you, all of you, to notice, we have 175 plus service offerings. It is not just giving you a server or an storage or a database for you to run. It is more, right? More innovative solutions of addressing your business, machine learning, artificial intelligence, IoT, data analytics, personalization, communication, right? So uh, those are the other predominantly other things what our customers are using, right? So AWS is just not an hardware infrastructure vendor, but it's definitely more to that. And happy to get in touch with you individually to explain about it later. We have 48% market share today, which is much larger than the combined next five vendors revenue, right? And another important reason why AWS is chosen by our customers is on the improved TCO, right? We have done 88 price reductions since 2006. Our latest price reduction being last month, where we have reduced cost on storage, right? So with AWS, you can be rest assured and that your TCO would be on the decline year on year, and you can definitely Ashok can definitely stand by that statement because we have done a lot of automation workshops, exercises for our customers in reducing their costs, right? And today 89% of the machine learning artificial intelligence workloads are running on the AWS platform, right? And 80% of containers platform. So today we have seen traditional enterprises moving away from the traditional two-tier, three-tier application architecture to an container-based microservices architecture, right? So 80% of those new application architectures are running on the AWS platform. And we have the largest ecosystem in the world, right? We have more than 7,000 plus partner products listed on our marketplace, and we also have a highly skilled partner community like FutureNet. We have thousands of partners delivering AWS solutions to our customers, highly capable on AWS technologies, certified and ready to deliver. Right? So that is the one of the main objectives, because the number of partners who are certified on AWS are much higher than compared to any other cloud provider. So these are predominant reasons why customers choose AWS. And we have a region and a zone concept. In India, our region is called Mumbai, and we have 3 availability zones within that region. And very recently, we have announced a new region in Hyderabad, which is coming up to operation by next year. Yeah. And if you are in business who has business relations across the globe and you want to start new operations, AWS is the preferred cloud partner for you. We have 24 launched regions, 5 new announced regions, 76 availability zones. Being local, you can go global anytime using our platform, right? So I think I'm right on time. Yeah, and
Yes, you are.
okay, so with this, I have 2 more slides, but I think I have covered almost everything what I had to communicate. If there is time, I can take questions also.
Thank you, Vinod. I think that's a very comprehensive coverage of your products and services. Something amazing that you could cover such wide area in that given point of time. Thank you very much. You might have questions, which you'll take it at the end of the next session also. Thank you so much for being here and sharing your thoughts.
Thank you.
Mr. David Appaswamy, would you be ready now?
Yeah, I've shared it with Swarna, but
Yeah.
first let me try and see if I can share it from my machine.
Yeah, okay.
She's already sharing, I think. Yeah.
He's already sharing it, yeah.
Okay.
We can start off. So it's over to you, Mr. Appaswamy.
Thank you. So good evening, everyone. What we're going to be talking about is effective digital marketing campaigns. And for us to understand how we can do that, we really need to understand the online medium, because this is not a medium like any other. It is not like television. It's not like radio. It's not like print. It's something completely different. Could we move to the next slide, please? No matter what the marketing objective of a company, and there could be many, and you're all familiar with this, you all run businesses, and you know exactly what your objectives are. But no matter what the objective, digital is a means of achieving them in a cost-effective manner and in a manner where you can ensure return on investment, and you can manage and monitor the entire process. Next slide, Swarna. So first, let's understand the mediums. First take a look at the conventional media. We're all familiar with this, right? This is what we grew up with. There's print, there's radio, there's television, and there's outdoor. Now, all of these came in at different points of time, but we use all of them concurrently. And when we were growing up and we were in college and we started our careers, these were the mediums we used. My question to you is, have you ever thought about the nature of this conventional media? Probably not, because we take them for granted. Next slide, please. So the nature of conventional media is one to many. That is, it's more like broadcast, and it's one way. It's also mostly static, especially the print and the outdoor. Radio is a little more dynamic because it's audio. Television, of course, is audio visual, so that's more dynamic. But if you look at, say, a newspaper like the Hindu or a television channel like NDTV or any one of these, they all have what's called proprietary content. They are either created by the media house or they use a syndicated media feed. So if it's from Bloomberg, they'll credit Bloomberg. If it's from PTI, they'll credit PTI. Similarly for Reuters, AFP, and so on. The content is all proprietary. You and I can't lift those stories and put them on our blog. We'll be sued because it belongs to them. They have created that content. And of course, all of these conventional media are owned by large media houses. So what happens is there's an inordinate amount of power vested in that one entity because they can influence so many people through a broadcast. And therefore, there's no balance of power. So which is why you see a picture of the killer whale and thousands of small fish, because, there is absolutely no match for this. So the question is, if this is the nature of conventional media, what is the nature of the digital medium, that is of the internet? Next slide, please. The digital medium is the exact opposite. Where it was one to many and one way, here it's many to many and it's two way and it's interactive. You can engage, you can comment, you can reach out to, you can contribute, you can do all kinds of things. And the medium itself is dynamic. You can have a mix of everything. You can have copy, you can have video, you can have audio visual, you can have graphics, you can have GIFs. It's, there are no limitations actually in terms of dynamism. And 80% of the internet or of digital platforms is user generated content. That is the stuff that you and I upload. So if you look at our daily, activity, there are many things that we do online unconsciously because it's become our it's become our major resource in terms of how we conduct our lives. And so what happens is, in our minds, we own it. Today it's at the end of your arm, right? It's in your phone. And you use it for everything. And you're using it all the time. So it's like belongs to you. And certainly your Facebook page or your Facebook feed, as it's known, you consider your own. Your Twitter feed, you consider your own. Your Insta handle, you consider your own. Your email inbox, you consider your own. The reality is that these are run by platforms, but the area that you control, you feel that you own. So to that extent, it's owned by users, whereas large media houses own the other mediums. Next slide, please. So as I was saying, what do you use it for? You use it for everything. Today, it's your resource to live your life, so to speak. You use it when you're being purposeful. Maybe you're looking for a particular piece of information. You use it for leisure. You can watch a movie on Netflix. You can watch YouTube videos. You can watch videos on Facebook. Can look at Insta stories. You can catch up with your friends and see what they're doing. You can socialize. You can message your college friends on WhatsApp. You can have a chat with them. You can be networking. You can be talking to colleagues. You can be talking to potential customers. And you can be working. You can be doing email. You could be
We seem to have lost your voice, Mr. Appaswamy.
I will speak to him, sir.
Yeah, please.
Maybe you. We are not able to hear him.
Yeah, Mr. Appaswamy, you're not audible.
Swarna, could you connect with him?
Looks like he has some connectivity issues.
Yeah.
Because I could see that from the thing that he has low bandwidth.
Oh, okay. Maybe Swarna, can you call him on the mobile to check?
I think she's doing it.
Okay.
We can make the presentation, but we cannot speak on his behalf. That's a problem.
No, sir, we couldn't hear you. Ma'am, he's trying to log out and log in again, ma'am.
Okay.
Okay.
Just hold on with the slides.
Yeah.
I presume this is part of the work from home. No, and the bandwidth and related issues.
Yes. Uncertainties of his availability.
Yeah, especially the rains, past cyclones, many people had a connectivity problem.
Yes. In fact, although it is only in southern part of India,
Right.
I think connectivity issues are there even in Mumbai today. I had some problem with my client call in the morning.
Oh, okay.
So the flip side of using this medium,
That's right.
virtuals.
But I think it's trying to mature. So I think over a period of time, this will become fully available.
Matter of time, once slowly we all migrate on to a 5G and fibers, these issues would get reduced. I won't say it'll get eradicated, but it'll get reduced.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we
Yeah,
can.
better. I think you had some connectivity problem.
There might have been a pause in the Wi-Fi.
Right. Okay. Over to you.
My apologies. So as I was saying, the use of digital is for everything, right? It's like we live our lives online and we use it for purposeful activity, searching for information. We use it for leisure. We watch YouTube videos. We watch Netflix. We watch Amazon Prime. We do multiple things. We socialize. We talk to our friends online. We talk to them on WhatsApp. We talk to them on LinkedIn. We talk to them on Facebook. We network on LinkedIn with potential customers, with prospects, with all kinds of people, and we do all our work online. So today, especially during the last 7 months, everything that we do is practically online, and we choose to do what we do when we want to. So in other words, we initiate whichever aspect that we want to do at any point of time. So if you're waiting at a doctor's office, you could be watching YouTube videos, or you could be catching up on the news. You no longer have to wait for primetime news at 9 o'clock on your favorite television channel. You can catch up with the news all the time, every hour if you want. It's up to you. You initialize its use. Next slide, please. So the two key parameters are we own the medium and we initiate its use. So this is the key thing to remember. We own the medium and we initiate its use. The control is with the user. Now, this is fundamentally different from the conventional media. In the conventional media, when you sent out a brand message or a marketing message, it had to go as a capsule on television, let's say 30 seconds. You had to think of one big benefit that you kind of packaged into a piece of communication, then repeated over and over and over again, and hope that people would get it. That does not work on social media. Nobody wants to see that kind of message. Here, people are looking for engagement, they're looking for conversations, they're looking for content that rewards them in some way. So it's a fundamentally different way of engaging with customers and prospects. Next slide. Now, because they own it, we have to, in a way, seek the permission to be on their news feeds, right? Because if it's your new Facebook page and you have a marketing message there, it could be seen to be an intrusion of privacy, isn't it? But it's not like that. Because when they signed on to the platform, they signed on agreeing for promotions because then it would be free. That's one. Two, the algorithm ensures that whatever is placed before them is relevant to them and their lifestyle. So it's in fact useful to them because they see what is of relevance, what is of interest, and something that they could use. So they have the opportunity of being exposed to multiple services and products that they can actually choose to use. Next slide. So when you're doing digital marketing, communications therefore must be relevant in the sense that you cannot have a coffee brand talking about something which is totally extraneous. It must be relevant to the benefits of coffee and what it does to them in their lifestyle. It's not just in the product, but relevant to their lifestyle. It must reward them in some way. Now, what kind of reward am I talking about? No, we're not talking about financial. We're not talking about discounts. We're not talking about incentives. It must reward them in ways in which the content is presented so that they find it interesting and engage with it. This could be in terms of their emotions, in terms of being a challenge. It could be humor. It could be that makes them feel warm and fuzzy inside. It could be a new perspective. It could be information that never had before. It could be multiple things, something of value. It could even be to provoke or to shock in a pleasant way, where they can sit back and say, wow, I really enjoyed that. So it has to reward them in some way. And when you reward them, they engage with you. They respond to you. They will comment. They will like. They will, more than anything else, if they like the content you put out there, they will own it in the sense they'll say, hey, I love this. I want to share it with my friends. And then they will share it. And something like that has the potential to go viral. You've heard this term very often, right? Oh, that was a viral campaign. So how did that virality come about? This is how it comes about. They like the content of that piece of communication so much that they owned it and they share it with their friends. That's how it goes viral. Now, what I'd like to do is show you some examples so you understand what I'm talking about. Next slide, please. You can play the video, Swarna. Just click once more. No. Play the video. It's not playing.
Audio is not able to hear, sir.
I can't hear or see.
It's not playing, Swarna.
My goodness.
Video you could able to see, ma'am. Only the audio you couldn't hear.
No, even video we can't see.
Just a second, let me just check.
Can you go to the audio? Can you go to the audio and video and set it as music mode?
Let me check, ma'am.
Yeah.
I think Google and WebEx don't go together.
Compatibility issue.
Yeah. Shall I try sharing it, Swarna?
Well, give the sharing rights to him. Let him attempt.
Okay, ma'am, I'll do it. You can try, sir.
Yeah, I'm trying. Can you see it?
I think, yeah,
Sir.
I think it's coming. It's coming. You can try now. It's yet to play.
You can see it, right?
Still not started playing. Yeah, I think. Yes, I think it's starting now. But we are not able to hear the audio.
Just didn't seem to like me.
Can you hear it now?
I think I annoyed. I got
We can hear now.
I think I was always misunderstood. People just didn't seem to like me. I think I annoyed them. I got on their nerves. I don't know why. That's just the way it was. Yeah. Maybe I was too intense. Maybe I came on too strong. I don't know. I really can't say. Yeah, it was lonely. Really lonely. But you get used to it after a while. And then one day, somebody finally accepted me for what I am. Since I've got this job, life is completely different. I finally feel useful, good at something.
So here we have the example of a company that is a portfolio company that was promoting investments in a new form of energy, namely the wind. Now, this is a film which is one of the most watched on the internet, and it dates back to the 90s, when wind energy and all is becoming something that was fashionable. So they did this to promote awareness of wind as an option for investments. And it is one of the most watched videos on the internet. And how did they manage to keep it so engaging? They personified the wind. They showed the wind as a person and talked about using that person to meet his full potential. It's a very different way of talking about an investment, isn't it? But it drives home the point very, very well. The next example that I have to tell you, you're all very familiar with the BMW, and you're all familiar with the kind of advertising a BMW does. But how do they do it on digital? They do it very, very, very differently. And they do it in a way that is completely storytelling, that keeps you on the edge of your seat. Now, they used 8 films to break into the North American market after they built a factory in North America. Till then, they were being imported by a few distributors, and they didn't have much of a marketing budget. and Mercedes-Benz was dominant in the US. And on every television channel, Mercedes-Benz was available. Wherever the target audience was thought to be present, Mercedes-Benz advertising was there. They had humongous advertising budgets. So how does a new brand like BMW break into that market? They realized they could never match Benz's marketing budget for television. But the late 90s was a time when broadband was taking off in the US and people were sharing videos widely. What research also showed was the average Benz buyer was 45 plus. And, he was a managing director of a company or a vice president in a bank or people like that, people who were more conservative and more the establishment. Whereas a BMW buyer was 30 to 45, and they were entertainers, they were stockbrokers, they were, uh, movie stars, they were people they were entrepreneurs, people who done very well. They were the up and coming new tribe of industrialists and so on. And these people were the early adopters of the internet, and they were the early adopters of broadband, and they're the ones sharing videos. So what BMW did was they actually contracted 8 famous Hollywood directors to script and direct 8 iconic BMW films. And these films are not commercials. They are films. They tell a story. And these they shared on the internet. And sure enough, their audience loved it. They picked it up and they shared it with their friends. And within 3 years, BMW was almost neck and neck with Mercedes-Benz in terms of market share. How much money did they spend on the media? None, because it was shared virally on the internet. This is digital marketing at its best. I'd like to show you one of the films. It's a little long, but it's worth watching. And compare it to whatever BMW advertising on television that you are used to. You'll find that it's completely different. Also, the protagonist in the film, the person who's featured in the film, is a very, very, very famous pop star who was a reigning diva in the late 90s. And look at the way they portrayed her. I think the internet is again the problem. Swarna, you want to try sharing it?
I'll check, sir.
I'll stop sharing. I have an ACT connection which usually does not give a problem at all. So I don't know what's happening. Are you sharing, Swarna?
Yes, sir. Is it visible and audible, sir?
It's visible but not audible. Oh, you're doing it from YouTube.
because I've downloaded the PPT, so it is going to directly to YouTube.
Yeah, it's linked to YouTube. No, the audio is not there. All right, I think we'll dispense with that. I'll share, Swarna, and let me see if the next one plays. No, I'm afraid I'm not able to share either.
You want me to share the presentation again, sir?
Yes, please.
I'll do it. It is visible, sir?
Yes. Go to the next slide. The problem is all the case studies are on video. So, other than these examples I've showed you, the BMW film you can go and find on YouTube. You just have to put in BMW films, and all 8 will come up. And this one is called The Star. So please do go and watch it. It's very, very captivating, and you'll be quite taken aback by the kind of films BMW has done for digital. In fact, I would suggest you see all of them, but because each one of them is completely different based on the style of the director and the kind of storytelling that they do, the cinematic techniques they use, and so on and so forth. What is also interesting is that in every one of them, they use multiple stars to perform in them. But the driver is always Clive Owen, who is a British action star. But the real star of every one of those films is the BMW car. So I would urge you to go and have a look at it on YouTube. Next slide, please. Swarna, next slide, please. So these are case studies of what we have done in India for multiple sectors. The first one being Tata Mutual Funds. They were launching a tax saving fund. Now, how do you get people to look at something as, what shall I say, serious as tax saving on digital without they're losing interest? You have to be able to engage with them in a way that catches their attention, isn't it? And in a very visual way, so that they understand exactly what you're talking about, and it resonates with them to the extent they invest in it. So we'd like to show you what we did. Next slide, please. Now here again, it's on video. So I don't know if you're going to have a problem there.
Let me
Maybe
try playing the video, sir.
Not playing. Okay, let me try from here. Unfortunately, we're so used to all of this working so easily.
Video and audio is visible, sir?
Audio
Yes,
not
but
there, ma.
audio is not there.
Audio is not there. Check the mic and see once again. Check the speaker.
I'm so sorry, folks. This is not what one expected at all. We should have checked out WebEx first.
Maybe you can send it to me. I'm sitting in office. Probably I can give it a shot. If you can send the presentation to me.
Me as in Ashok?
Yeah.
I will send it to you, Ashok, sir. I have it. I will send it to you.
Yeah, sure.
Make sure you give the permissions to play. Yeah?
The same one which you have sent it to me, I'll send it with the edited version, sir.
Yeah. In the meantime, let me try. Can you all see?
No.
Okay, so it's not working.
Ashok, sir, did you receive the mail?
Yes, I've got it. This is a Google share. It was on the Google.
Yes,
So,
sir.
yes.
Okay. Fine. I will try and present this across. Yeah. Will you see my screen?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So we need to go on to.
Go to Tata Mutual.
We'll try.
Yeah.
You're able to see the
Yes.
audio on the video?
Yes.
Okay, good.
It's a little slow though.
The first thing you notice physically about this lady is her eyes. Bright blue eyes. It's rare to actually see those eyes because they're usually covered up, but when you do, it's worth it. The next thing you notice is her hands. Strong, powerful, yet feminine hands. But the real heart stopper that this woman has in her galaxy of talents is her voice. Her billion-dollar voice. She's a legend in her lifetime. She's achieved giddy heights few have equaled. She's unrivaled in her world. She's a complete cup.
Right here, darling.
Slam, get over here.
Glenn is flying in. Glenn is here to say you are the boss.
Idiot. You are such a moron. This is not what I pay you for.
Glenn, a manager for 7 years. No backbone on the man.
Not a problem, sweetheart. We will work it out, okay?
But he gets paid enough not to have one.
Coffee. I want my coffee. It better not be cold.
Piping hot.
I'm so over black.
That for you.
Take the bus. This'll do. Take me to the venue.
I'm sorry, I'm booked for someone else.
Yeah, right. Just take me to the venue.
What venue?
I am gracing this armpit of a town for one night. If you also think I'm going to know the name of the venue in El Arpito, you're sadly mistaken. You are the driver. You are supposed to know.
We're going to the palace.
We? Listen, my bone from the neck up driver friend. I suggest you put your foot down. And next time, do your homework.
Okay, fine.
What do you think you're doing?
Coming with you, ma'am.
Then get on the roof and hold on tight. Out! Out!
Follow behind.
Good idea, tough guy. What are you waiting for? Let's get out of here before he gets in the car. I don't want him following me.
Okay. Don't lose them.
Why are we going so slow?
Excuse me.
You deaf as well as stupid. I said, why are we going so slow? People are waiting for me.
Well, Mom, I wouldn't like to put you in any danger.
Don't man smarty pants. Shame your driving isn't as smart as your mouth. I thought I told you I don't want that car following me. Huh? Not so smart as to answer that, are you, smarty pants?
Would you excuse me for a second? Hello?
Hey, she doing okay?
Yeah, she's fine. I'll take care of her.
No rush. Show her the sights. Give her everything I paid you for. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
She'll be there on time.
If you'd keep your eyes on the road instead of on me, we might be getting somewhere.
Let me see what I can do.
Sir. Your conference is 6 மணிக்கு பண்றேன்.
The audio has gone off.
He's on mute. That's the reason, sir. I'm just checking. Ashok, sir? Ashok, sir, you could able to hear us?
Yeah, I'm able to hear you. Yes.
Okay.
So can we go to the next slide or we continue here?
I think move to the next slide.
Yeah.
So I was telling you about Tata Mutual and the tax saving fund. The challenge is on digital media, how do you get people to understand that this is a fund that can help them save taxes? And how do you get them to relate to something unpleasant like tax savings and in a highly visual manner using videos? We managed to achieve that with a series of videos which the audience could relate to in terms of their everyday lives. Can you move to the next slide, please? Can you play the video?
Want to play the video here? Yeah.
Yes.
Mutual funds to save taxes and make it engaging? We brainstormed our way into hitting these points and this idea was born. Social Beat presents Say No to Katauti for Tata Mutual Funds. Our goal was to break the belief that one cannot save on taxes with mutual funds. So we decided to make the video engaging, humorous, informative, and to make the audience realize how it pains to see taxes eating away your money. So how did we make this stellar campaign a hit? With the reach of video surging, we wanted to make the best out of it and created a video series with relatable everyday scenarios. Now think, a relaxing weekend. One scrumptious pizza awaits at the door. How would you like it if your pizza came with one slice less? That would be a heartbreak. Then he is your savior. He is smart, unforgiving, a Katauti veteran for Tata Mutual Fund who likes to have fun. We capitalized on this emotion and made our videos relatable to those who bear the brunt of tax cuts. To new employees, sports fans, homemakers, and almost every taxpayer ever in distinctly different teams. We produced 4 videos to engaging stories.
The audio's gone off.
As a result, the overall campaign got 9,41,60,648 impressions, 51,92,547 interactions, and 7,764 leads. According to the Google Brand Lift case study, there was a 38.1% lift in brand recall and 216.2% lift in brand interest and 13.1% lift in brand awareness, and that is one happy client.
So overall, the campaign saw 94 million impressions. There were 5 million interactions. That is, people responded to the content, many of which was shared. And we generated 7,764 leads. And the video views were to the extent of 3.9 million. Now, this is digital marketing. So we're talking about responsive marketing campaign where you had nearly 8,000 leads coming in, to which they could then respond and sell mutual funds. Can we move to the next slide? So the next example is again a mutual fund. I purposely chose 2 financial houses because, very often digital marketing and social media is taken a little lightly. But digital marketing includes advertising on digital platforms as well. And what we achieved for both Tata and Sundaram is based on digital advertising. So here we use YouTube to get people to invest and to contact the company so that they could be then nurtured to conversion. Next slide, please.
Want to play the video?
Yes, please.
Services play a leading role in the economy. Here's an opportunity to invest in a sector representing 54% of the economy. Presenting Sundaram Services Fund. NFO opened between 29th August and 12th September. Mutual fund investments are subject to market risks. Read all scheme-related documents carefully.
Now, what we did was we used what's called the YouTube masthead for quick awareness. And that resulted in 14 million people seeing the video in 24 hours. And the number of subscribers to Sundaram Mutual's YouTube channel went up by 57,000. So that's the kind of exposure that it received. Next slide, please.
Services play a leading role.
So here you can see the click-through rate was 39%. The decrease in cost per lead was 32%. 26% of the leads that came in were qualified. And there was a 91% increase in the conversion rate. And we carried forward on that YouTube masthead with these kind of social media posts and ads. Meet Neha, she went on a debt-free vacation to Europe at 25. Like that, we put various consumers and how they'd used mutual fund savings and the income that they gain from it to do things that they wanted to do. So this is for Sundaram Mutual Funds. Next slide, please. Here's another very serious category of services, which is Dr. Mohan's hospitals. As you know, Dr. Mohan's is the leading diabetic care hospital chain across the country. And their problem was that diabetes, everybody was aware of diabetes, but they didn't take it as seriously as they should, nor did they kind of put a personal commitment into managing the condition. To begin with, a lot of people think diabetes is a disease of sorts. It's a condition, not a disease. So we worked out a very novel way of dealing with it for them. Next slide, please. Can play the video. So as you can see, we did multiple things for Dr. Mohan's. Social media, yes. We did videos on social media. We also promoted those videos. When I say promoted those videos, that means they get shown to the target audience with paid promotions. And we also use content that showed that anybody can get diabetes. It's not only people in their 40s and 50s, but you have juvenile diabetes, you have teenage diabetes. It's a condition that's due to sometimes hereditary or inherited, what shall I say, uh, genes in the body, right? You have a tendency to move towards diabetes. And if one is sedentary and eats a lot of sugar, you slip into that condition. So we drove awareness of that. And also we drove using search engine optimization consultations for Dr. Mohan's. So in all, we had over 1,000 shares of the kind of social media posts that were done, 50,000 views of the videos, 1.5 million people who were reached, and 23,500 people took a pledge to say that they will control diabetes. So it was a great way of doing an engagement. And Dr. Mohan was very happy with this because it lifted awareness of the hospital chain for diabetes to a different level altogether. The next slide, please. Boat is a brand of headphones that is actually surging in sales now because of the pandemic. All of us wearing headphones, right? To listen to what is going on online. So they're doing very, very well. But this is a case study from their promotion on IPL. Can play the video. So as you can see on the left-hand side, there were 44 million impressions. There's a 15.5% in product interest increase, a 59% decrease in the cost per click, nearly 4 lakh clicks, and a 158% lift in the brand's interest. Their sales are still surging. In last month, in fact, was a highest sales ever. So this is a brand that has used digital very well, and we've been able to do that for them. So these are some examples I wanted to show you that social media and digital is not a fad. It is not to be taken lightly. Whether we like it or not, a very large percentage of the population has now moved online. People below 35 are not subscribing to newspapers anymore. They are reading everything that they need to do online. And they are looking at the news in things like InShots and things like that. So the way they consume information has completely changed. And unless we are able to reach them in a relevant way in places where they are, we will be missing out this entire emerging market as well. We are talking about, for example, if you take YouTube, 300 million YouTube videos are viewed every day in India. YouTube is the second largest search engine in the world and in India. And people are looking at everything, for example, like how to do it videos. So there are many young women who are looking at how to henna my hair. And there are lots of videos which show you how to put henna in your hair. Now, if there's a hair care brand they need to be in that relevant content space and to be showing either uh, uh, their brand of henna or the fact that they've got henna built into their product. So like this, you can actually analyze what is the content available out there and how are people consuming it, and how can we put relevant content so that they look at our content and therefore become familiar with our brand. Similarly, you can actually identify people online because they leave a digital trail, and you can look at what they're searching for, and you get a pattern in terms of their lifestyle. For example, there will be a whole lot of people who are searching for marriage venues. Then you know that these people are going to get married. So everything to do with the marriage can be advertised to those people in particular. Like that, there are multiple things, even in terms of business. A chartered accountant is looking for information in terms of new regulations that have come out. And a fintech BPO can put out content that shows what the new regulations are, so the chartered accountants read them. We've actually done this for Sundaram Business Services. So no matter what the product category or service, we can actually put relevant content out there depending on what people are looking for or what people are consuming. Next slide, please. The important thing is to remember that today the users own the medium and they initiate its use. Next slide, please. And that we have to be relevant, we have to reward, we need to engage with them. We hopefully will get owned by them if our content is really good, and they'll share it. And we will have made an impact in not just the people that we promoted our content to, but the 10x times that it was shared and to all their friends to whom they shared it to. That brings me to the end of this presentation. I'm sorry about all the technical glitches, but I hope the point came across. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. David Appasamy. I think you made us look at the way we reach people with the messages in a very, very different way. What I think we will do is to get on to the next part of the program and request the participants to type the question in the chat box, so that at the end of the next presentation, we will take all questions together. So we are coming to the concluding part of Phygital, and we would conclude this with a session by Ashok, Managing Director of Future and Technologies and Chairman of MCCI's IT and ITS Committee. Ashok will talk to us about digital transformation, something where he will summarize, combine, add together the various thoughts we went through the last 5 days. Ashok is an entrepreneur, technocrat with 25 years of experience. He set up FutureNet Technologies in 1996 to focus on IT services. As an expert in IT infrastructure related services, he assists customers in aligning IT with their businesses. He has vast experience in building data centers, local area networks, wide area networks, virtualization, and business continuity planning. He has received several awards and recognition from businesses and industry. He is a well-recognized orator who has delivered noteworthy speeches on leadership at renowned technology and human resource development forums. The next perhaps 20 minutes, Ashok will take us through digital transformation. Ashok, over to you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Rama. And thank you, Mr. David Appasamy, for the wonderful presentation. So without wasting the time, let me go on to concluding session. So I'm just going to share my screen. See my screen?
Yes, we can.
Excellent. Okay. So thank you so much, and for being here for last 5 days, and then we went through several technologies, starting with data analytics and now ending with social media marketing. So what does it mean to each one of us in the business? How does one look at it? So let me first look at it. All these technologies, what is the use of these technologies? So what is digital transformation? Because this is the most used terminology today in the business. So I say that the digital transformation is either adopting completely a new way to adopt the technology, which means that I don't have any technology at this point in time. I do agriculture completely manually, but I'm just going ahead and putting a complete technology-oriented agriculture. I'm just giving an example. It's a greenfield project. Or we already have an IT, we have already got certain systems and processes. I'm moving from an older system to the new system. So I'm in the process of migrating from an old system to the new system. So these two, primarily the scenarios in which people look for a digital transformation. So what are the key drivers of the digital transformation? First is, I think this is, we probably heard from all the seminars and the talks in the last 4 or 5 months, we all got fast forwarded with adoption of technology at least by 3-4 years. What probably we would have done in 2024 or 2025, we started doing now. We wouldn't have thought of doing such programs online completely in 2020, and it is a reality today, including the Phygital, what we do here. So the work from home is a new norm which is driving. Second is the gig economy. So the gig economy is a one which is quite fast picking up because people they don't want to get employed full-time into a company. They just wanted to work on a specific assignment and a contract based on the skill set, and they would like to divide their time and balance it between a career and the family. So many other advantages coming in. So which means that they will parallelly would get employed with a multiple assignments, and they will slot their time and give it to them according to their available convenience and the job availability. Like typically like Uber drivers drive the car. So gig economy model, which means that digital transformation is this is one of the key drivers why organizations looking at transforming from an older technology to a new technology. I'll elaborate a little more as we go on to these 2 points. And the next is increasing the productivity. So currently they are looking at doing certain things manually, or they're doing it in a semi-automated way. They're looking at moving on to a fully automated way to ensure that the whole productivity is increased. And increased compliance and regulations by the bodies, which is also the drivers on the business to look at moving and upgrading the technology from an older technology to the new technology, or altogether bringing in a new technologies into the forum. So, and last point on the technology transformation is completely, if you don't change, then we become extinct. Typically what is currently happening in a car manufacturing. So the car manufacturing is seeing the change now from one fuel to another fuel. So currently most of the cars are getting either a hybrid or moving into an EV. Next year, at least about half a dozen cars are getting released with an EV, and probably next 5 to 10 years, you'll have more EVs is running, which means if these companies are not going to migrate from manufacturing from a diesel and petrol-based car or a gas-bearing car onto an EV, they become extinct. So this definitely going to bring them, and then which means that they are actually making the entire their entire production line is changing from X to Y completely. So the digital transformation is a key driver there. So this is the 4 drivers what are driving the key the reason for digital transformation. Now, what are the key technologies which is going to get implemented into this is what we saw in the last 4 days. There is a cloud computing, which because most of the thing is going to be centric on a cloud. We had we have heard from AWS on various things. So many services they have, which we can pay per use, pay per transaction. So that being a center, then you can actually have an artificial intelligence. Then we have a blockchain, we have data analytics, we have cybersecurity, multiples of this. Every company is adopting this in a different forms. Some are using it for the production, some are using it for the main business, some are using it as a support system, could be anywhere, but this technology is playing a key role. So blockchain is a one I can always say that companies like Mahindra and Mahindra is currently using for a co-sharing a tractor, which means I buy a tractor, 4 farmers together can invest in a tractor, and then they can actually have the entire thing on a blockchain, and they can share the same tractor, which means there is no question of somebody used it more, somebody used it less, nothing like that. So they're coming up with a blockchain to implement the asset sharing on the farming. So it's like that. The companies are adopting into a multiple different parts of these technologies. So we have seen all that in detail over the last 4 days, and how is one company going to be using for the purpose of digital transformation? Now, when I'm looking at it, there is a lot of complexities in any digital transformation. What are the complexities? One is the current maturity of an IT. Yes, the technologies are moving fast and we need to go forward, and then we'll have to go on to completely, doing everything digital. But what is the current maturity of the IT? When I say IT, not only the company's organization's IT, that is a starting point, but also the environment, society. Currently, we had problems in playing a video here, which means that there is certainly a problem in terms of availability of a bandwidth on demand uniformly across the board to do my sharing of an idea with anybody, that becoming a problem. And which means that if there is going to be a next cyclone crossing Chennai, is there is a guarantee my connectivity will be there, or am I going to go out of a production for a couple of days before it get restored? Which means maturity of an IT not only within an organization but also the ecosystem, which also makes more I would say that's a collective transformation. Change management, we got used to doing certain things in certain way. Changing that, today Corona forced us to adopt these technologies where we are doing it. Otherwise, we prefer doing it in a 5-star hotel and where everybody is interacting together. But changing the mindset from a current model to a new model with an employee and a society is going to be a big change, and that's a challenge one has to be considering while drawing up a digital transformation plan. And the third component is the investment. So investment in terms of right technology, I would always say when I work on any DT assignments, we always say appropriate technology. We don't need to go to the best of technology. We should not go back onto the older technology. We need to employ absolutely an appropriate technology so that you are able to go on to the tide and then move on a step-by-step fashion, unless it's a greenfield project where you try to bring the best of technology at first shot. So investment, what do you get out of it? I put X dollars on the technology. What is it bringing back to me into my business? That is very, very key. Unless I'm selling technology to somebody, even then I need to be creating a technology. So let's say we are creating an autonomous electrical vehicle. If I need to be investing probably about $500 million on developing an R&D on it, will it sell? Will people buy? Can I sell an autonomous electrical vehicle in this part of the world? Where is it going to bring in a return on investment to me? So those things are calculated in anywhere from a simple ERP investment or to a digital media marketing investment or to a artificial intelligence or anything. This makes a key thing. So one has to go on to an extensive financial modeling to look at it. Then comes the technology selection, which is the right technology, looking at an appropriate technology in the specific areas, what we have seen, the key drivers, and investing on those technologies is going to be a big, big challenge, and where the people are going to be involved in terms of analyzing it. So what is a good starting point for the companies? Now these technologies we have listened and analyzed and, not analyzed, but we've listened and at least we know that where these technologies come in and what it can offer. Always that we say that we introspect. What is available in the world? Would it suitable to me? Can I adopt that? Can I move? We need to be introspect that. So uncover the current as we call it as. So uncover the whole thing, do a complete blueprint of what is currently available with us, or taking into consideration of the environmental IT also. So, environmental IT and ecosystem and support system, all that have to be looked at, assessing what is the reality today in my company, in my ecosystem, in the country. All these things we draw up saying that what is currently, then analyze it. Moving on to the new technology, onto this, what does it require to move on to the new technology, and strategize that priority wise, saying that I would put this money on these technologies at this is point in time, and I will measure whether I'm getting a return on investment, whether I'm getting the key result areas, what has been defined on that particular objectives, key objectives are getting met. We will look at that and strategize and do a detailed planning, then quantify the benefits, what involved into it, then rest is just an execution, and then that's key. And it's always, I always say that anywhere the digital transformation is a measured effort, and then you need to go on very clearly milestone based. At every aspect of your investment, we need to look at the returns and then see whether you are able to achieve the key objectives, what has been defined in the beginning of the the journey. And this is one key thing which we have also learned as a company, that we have seen that one thing on a digital, when we go and do it in a hurry, and then we say, okay, for example, take the current scenario, we say, okay, come on, we'll move people into work from home. Fantastic. So we moved about 1,000 people on the work from home, and then we brought them onto either technologies like Citrix or a virtual private network. We enable them to work from remote. Then after that, what happens? All of a sudden, we discover there's a licensing model is we are trying to breach somewhere the licensing model, because they get exposed to more software than what they're supposed to be doing. And they are actually the cost and the whole thing, it completely get disturbed when you go on to such thing. So when we actually do any kind of a digital transformation, it is important. One of the key component there in the compliance is the software licensing, because most of the software licensing has moved into from a capex model to an opex model, from a single device used to a multiple device used. But then they put a lot of caveat within that. One has to be very, very clear when I'm moving to one model to another model, which is what are the pitfalls into it, so that you incorporate that into the strategy of a digital transformation, take an informed decision at that point in time. Second thing is the government regulations. Government regulations includes data nativity and availability. Today, there is also saying that all the finance companies and the banks are expected to keep the data within the country. That's there in most of the countries in the world. We have Dr. Rama, who's an expert in that, who can actually see that. So nativity, where are we going to keep and how are we going to protect the data? So, okay, I'm going to keep it in India and I'm going to keep a DR in Singapore, means, am I going to be breaching the government regulations? Availability is key for me, because if something happens to India, what can I go and start my business? At least will I have a data in another place? Because my data center is in Mumbai or Chennai or wherever. If something happens to the data center in India, what happens to my data? So the data nativity and availability, one has to balance it out very, very carefully without breaching the regulations of government. Then the data security. Similar examples, again, we put people on VPN and we allow them to come and work from home. How are we going to be securing the data? The data is shared between people. The two people in an organization who used to work next to each other is now working in a very different places geographically. How are they going to collaborate and how are they going to share the data? So that needs to be analyzed and then documented, so that as part of this, we need to be, once when the ultimate digital roadmap is done, we need to put that roadmap on to asking a question of how am I doing in the software licensing? How am I doing in a government regulations? And that becomes saying that, okay, good to go. Then we go about in terms of implementing it. So once when we go on to it, it's a continuous improvement for me, because we have been seeing this for every 6 months, the technology changes, if not earlier. Which means that we need to go on a continuous roadmap of changing, upgrading ourselves onto the technology, which means the new technology adoption have to be fast, and the organizations are going to be rated based on how fast, how agile they are in terms of adopting to the new technology. They are able to move forward, which means all my people, process, technology have to come aligned together to give me the agility to move from an older technology to the new technology. And I should not have a baggage saying that, oh, I've already sunk so much investment into it already. Now, what am I going to do with the new technology? So we should actually go on to a model and the probable thing, saying that easy for me to move from a current technology to the new technology, which without having a lot of baggage attached to it. So we need to put a lot of control systems for the sustenance aspect of it. In the last, what is government's role in the whole thing? In this, we have spoken, and we have also last 3 days, we have spoken about government policy on artificial intelligence. We have seen the government policy on a blockchain. We have also seen the cybersecurity government policy on cybersecurity. Now, government is defining standards, and they are also giving more clarity on policy. I'm happy that something like this is coming in. But defining standards to that as deep as possible, I've just given a on the right hand side, I've given a diagram which says what it means. For example, if we need to go on to a shared model of working on a healthcare, which means there has to be a central database which is probably protected with a blockchain for the thing and with the information security, so that all hospitals share the data, primary care share the data, specialists have an access to all the patient records. Okay, long-term care can be onto the home, but still the central database is a thing. Public health, pharmacies, labs, insurance. If my insurance is not claimed, and the insurance also can track the data, and accordingly the insurance also can think. So such database, government can play a role in without breaching the trust and without breaching the basic ethics of using those data. It's very, very important. So the governance comes from the government's role, because nobody is going to come and share the data without having a confidence. Without that being happening, the real digital transformation we are talking about, seamless migration, seamless thing, is going to be difficult in every aspect of it. So this is slowly started happening, but I think that it's the government's role is to ensure that this is manifested. Appropriate law for sharing, appropriate laws for security, and penalties. If there is going to be a breach, what kind of penalties, and how the organizations are going to be charged, or how are they going to be rewarded for putting such quality systems and security in place. It's just not enough for the governments to not only just put the policies and the standards, but also they should have a governing committee which primarily monitors the implementation, and very clearly that if there is a pitfall somewhere, the policy, they should quickly make a course correction and then move and ensure that they enable the people. Like today we see so many things happening in a GST. We are able to go file certain things, we are not able to go file certain things. Same thing happening in an IT. So when the pitfalls are invariably happens in a digital transformation. But if it happens in a company gets up and walks fast. But if it's in a government, how are they going to do the course correction in a shorter span of time so that everybody is benefited? So that brings me to the last slide, and this is primarily to give an overall idea of how these technologies can be adopted into a company in a systematically to ensure that you get the maximum benefit. With that, I will give it back to Dr. Rama to take this forward.
Ashok, thank you so much. In fact, today we had three very interesting sessions. We started off with a crisp presentation on cloud by Vinod, followed by a case-rich session on social media, and of course, very typical of Ashok, a techno-commercial session. And Ashok, you didn't disappoint me when I introduced you as a well-recognized orator. All the three presenters, we are most grateful to you for sharing your thoughts. If there are any questions, I can probably take just one or two. There are no questions in the chat box. If there's any question, can you please type it on the chat box?
I can ask a question to Mr. David.
Yes, please go
David
ahead.
Appasamy, if he's...
Please go ahead.
Yeah. So now this digital media marketing is really becoming a revolution in the whole thing. Now, earlier when we go on to an ad agencies like yours, we go and say this is a budget we have, and then this is a print media, all those we will come back and tell you. Now, social media is all about you experimenting at a smaller cost and fail fast if you're failing. So what would be your recommendation to a small and medium company to start with, and what should be the budget to go on to organizations typically like a B2B in a small and medium company?
Yeah, I think what often happens is the term social media is used interchangeably with digital marketing. The two are distinct. Social media is a small subset of digital marketing. It is not digital marketing per se. Digital marketing covers a whole spectrum of activities, which includes deep content, it includes search engine optimization, it includes digital advertising, search engine marketing, and so on and so forth. And one aspect is social media marketing. Now, social media marketing is used primarily to build community and to engage with an audience. And it's a slower process. So if you're looking at a SME, which is in B2B, A, we will not experiment. B, we will look at what the objectives are and who your audience is. And on digital, it's possible to sharply focus on the audience because, if it is your company, for example, you would be looking at the CXO level and the technology officers of companies who could use your services. And we could look at that through a LinkedIn. We could look at that through analysis of what people have possibly searched for in terms of articles to educate themselves. They won't search for those kind of services, but for example, they will be looking for information on blockchain to understand it better. So we look at those kind of search analysis, and we do multiple things. One is to provide deep content on educating them so that when they are looking for information on those kind of subjects, they come to your site. The second is to actively promote on a LinkedIn, and that can be done in multiple ways. One of the most effective ways is to do a survey as to, do you believe you're ready to start using blockchain? How familiar are you with blockchain? And we can ask 3 or 4 questions and get people to take the survey. And by that, to do the survey, they would have to give you the email ID. And by the survey results, you will know who is actually considering it and who is merely looking at it as a piece of information, and it will generate for you qualified leads out of that. So there are multiple things we can do which ensure ROI, that you get a response that you can act upon, that you get leads that you can then nurture to finally closing an engagement with them. So when we talk about digital marketing, it covers this whole plethora, not just social media. Social media is best suited for FMCG companies and services which are not high technology. For B2B, LinkedIn would be the better platform, as well as looking at what people are searching for and providing relevant content to educate them about those kind of services. I hope that answers the question.
Absolutely. Thank you. I've got one more question. Can I go ahead, Dr. Rama?
Yes, that probably will be the last question for the session.
Right.
Please go ahead.
Right. See, you have been a traditional advertising company moved into a digital transformation, digital media. Is my understanding right?
Actually, no. We're a digital marketing company only.
You born as a digital marketing company?
Yes. Though, have worked in traditional advertising and done the switch to digital.
Okay, so I can ask a specific to you. So you have been into a traditional media and moved into a digital transformation. How did you manage about change management and the learning management for you?
Myself?
Yes.
I had a very nice transition. So in my case, it's very different, Ashok. The other thing is I'm a continuous learner and I'm always adapting to what is going on. There are many people who build expertise in one area and are not able to adapt. Now, I've always been in marketing. From there, I was in ITC Welcome Group in services marketing. From there, I moved to advertising, became a strategist, and became very good at developing campaigns that could create market impact. Then one of the companies that became our client was City Technologies. And when we got SIFI, I got fascinated with the internet and started learning all about it on my own. Soon I became a strategist for SIFI within the agency. And then SIFI absorbed me, took me on into their marketing team, and I spent 10 years at SIFI. By the time I finished with SIFI, I was executive vice president, and I really understood the internet. So after that, I moved to digital marketing. So it's been a segue.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. David Appasamy. Very interesting. Actually, I have 2 questions for Mr. Dansing Vinod, but in the interest of time, I will talk to him offline and get his views on that. So thank you all very much, Mr. David Appasamy, Mr. Dansing Vinod, Ashok, our own Ashok. And to conclude this formally, let me hand over the session to Mrs. Saraswati, Secretary General of the Madras Chamber. Mrs. Saraswati, over to you.
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Dr. Rama. It had been a before this format, thank you was involved in this program. Let me just take 1 minute of my thought about this kind of a program even at the beginning. You know, Madras Chamber has many expert committees. We have manufacturing committee, we have IT committee and things like that. And traditionally being a 185 years old chamber, we are generally associated with the manufacturing mode. And I think it's 2-3 years back when we started talking, when we have a Food for Thought series. And when we had a program like a man versus machine, you know, there were a lot of discussions on this industry 4.0, and should we really be that digital with so much of human uh, resources available? Should we really go for automation? Should we go for whether manufacturing could go that digital like an IT company? These questions were raised, and that's why we coined this Phygital. I think we started this in 2018 as the first year, and then we said every 2 years initially we will have a big event, and we planned it that way this March. But then as we had it, as luck had it, I should say, probably now we wouldn't ask the question how important is digitization is. We have all learned the hard way thanks to COVID. And we were more and more looking at the beginning of the COVID outbreak. We were thinking, even chambers like ours, we were never imagining that we could go digital, we could have virtual program. We have never done that, to be very honest, maybe one or two occasions. We never took it seriously, even as a chamber, I should say. And we thought that work from home, things like that may not really work for the chamber. But we again learned it a very hard, practical way that even like a chamber like ours, even organizations of our nature could really go digital. So now the question remains, what will happen when probably post-COVID, when everything at least goes to near normal, or we are going to go back to our original physical kind of events, or it is going to be different? So then there had been a lot of discussions, as Dr. Rama, Ashok, others will know. You know, we decided we were going to be hybrid going forward. So that is exactly the spirit of Phygital, physical and digital. I'm sure probably it has been a sort of a proof beyond doubt now that this is going to be a model, not just for a conference of this nature, even our working, even our business strategies, everything. And so as probably goes by the current trend and the title, we decided to have it. We were deliberating. Again, we knew that we cannot have a kind of physical event which we were planning earlier. Then what should we do? Should we skip the event this year, go next year? Then thanks to people like Dr. Rama, Mr. Ashok, we said, you know, the spirit of it is itself is Phygital, physical and digital, and it's a hybrid thing. So this year we should really do try it out this way. I'm really happy that this has probably worked quite well. 5 days, I know, a bit probably strenuous for people, or they have to allot that time, but I'm happy people could do that. So I think we really decided it's right, Dr. Rama, Mr. Ashok, to take it this way, have it instead of a 1 day or a 2 day program as a week-long program, and very beautifully covered, structured. We said exactly the same time. Few months back, Tamil Nadu also came out with specific policies. So we decided we will take it as a modular thing, do it that way, maybe take one topic a day and then one use case, one application, things like that. So we started that way, and thank you so much. I think I should fail in my duty if I at least quickly thank all those who are involved in making this program a great success. Starting from our day one, Mr. Santosh Mishra, IAS, the Chief Officer of Commissionerate of E-Governance, Tamil Nadu E-Governance Agency, and they have also collaborated with us in this program. So he gave a beautiful talk and he explained with passion what the government is trying to do on this, and he also said what probably the kind of blockchain practical initiatives the government is taking. We then had a whole lot of speakers. Mr. Venkat Sriram from Dell Bangalore, who also is a great sponsor, supporter for this program. Dell had been a platinum sponsor. A very special thanks, special mention I should make to Dell. Thanks. And Mr. Venkat Sitaram made a beautiful presentation. And then we had Mr. Rajan Sethuraman, Chief Executive Officer of Latent View Analytics, on the first day when we handled data analytics and the use case. The second day, we had a good moderator from Deloitte, Mr. Arjun Pratap, and had sessions on artificial intelligence with Mr. Vaitishwaran talking about the policy, Mr. Sundara Ramalingam of Global Director NVIDIA talking about the business case and on the artificial intelligence. Then we moved on to the third day, Mr. Satish Taliveti CEO was moderating the session, CEO Intelitex, and we had Mr. Vital Raj, Mr. Suman Kumar Gorla, and we had the fourth day we had Ms. Savita, Mr. Vijay Kumar, and today we had Mr. David Appaswamy and also Mr. Vinod. Of course, ably moderated. I should mention a very special our team as well as the moderators, Dr. Rama, Mr. Ashok, and Mr. Ashok had a very beautiful, as Rama said, a very concluding, very comprehensive session. So a very big thanks to all of them. A special thanks, as I said, to Dell and AWS for their support, financial support, as well as technical support, and to all the participants and to my wonderful team. Without them, it would have been really difficult for 5 days. I know it's not that easy to allot time. So I think I should definitely say a big thanks to all of you, all participants. And maybe I will sign off here. And please send your feedback. You can share your thoughts. We would probably do follow-up programs and some certificate courses on specific topics. Till then, stay safe. Good evening. Good weekend. Thanks. A big thanks once again to all of you.